Hey guys, it's Noob Zero back with another Street Fighter 6 review. I know this is kind of a part two, but I did want to go more in depth on the arcade side of things. Okay, so we will use our five elements: our presentation, graphics, sound, gameplay, and our fun factor. So we'll still have those same five elements in here, um, 1 through 5 points for each one, and yeah, so that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to put all the other stuff aside. That other one's kind of a part one review, but more of my thoughts on what they did with the game. Now, I didn't really like the direction they went, but we'll separate that so you know how the game plays more in depth on the arcade side, the core of the game, the fighting game, what it's supposed to be. So, putting all the other nonsense away, let's get into that. So first thing we're to get into is presentation, and this is going to be pretty quick, unfortunately.
Street Fighter 6.
My name is Chun-Li. As an Interpol agent, I spent many years in pursuit of the leader of the Shadaloo Syndicate, a man named M. Bison. But thanks to the assistance of numerous great martial artists, Shadaloo was destroyed, and M. Bison was defeated for good. For now, I'm on a sabbatical from work. I've been spending my time teaching Kung Fu in the city. Sabbatical or not, a martial artist is always on active duty. I mustn't neglect my daily training.
All right, so you saw that with presentation. You had a bunch of logos for other companies involved in the game. You had Unreal Engine, and then it was flashing Battle Hub really quick, and then said Street Fighter 6. So that part of it, really lame. When you get into the game, though, when you get into selecting your character, then you have a nice little prologue there that is voiced over. You do have to sit there and press the button through after all the subtitles go through, and then it's on to the next picture of the prologue. And that part I wish was more like Street Fighter 4 again. I know I keep going back to that, but they were animated, fully animated. So they went through the whole thing for yourself. You felt like you were watching a movie. And then you got into the game. And the endings are basically the same. When you get the ending, they're not animated. You have to press the button. But again, at least it's in there. You've got it voiced over. The graphics for the pictures are great. I don't know if I really like how some of them look. I know Cammy's look kind of AI generated. This one looked more closer to if somebody drew it. And I'm sure they did on the other one too. But it's just a little jarring going from 5 to 6 and how they look. So that's kind of weird. Not bad. It looks good still. Looks crisp and clean. So anyway, but for presentation, because the beginning is so bland, it's so short. Just Street Fighter 6. That's all you get. Just there you go. There's the title. I'm gonna give it a 4 because again, the prologue and the endings. The endings are just like that prologue there, and I don't want to ruin them all for you. But they're fine. They're fine. They could be better. It would be a perfect 5 if they were animated in, Street Fighter 6, or even if just Street Fighter 6 had this epic intro, I'd give it a 5. But, since it's lacking there just a little bit, I'm going to give it a 4. Anyway, let's get on to graphics.
Ready? Then show me.
Bring the heat. Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight! Chun-Li wins!
All right, so you've seen the graphics there. Amazing, amazing. The graphics are great. It's crazy. When we get past Street Fighter 2, we go to Street Fighter 3. You can see how the animation and graphics and everything looked for Street Fighter 3. When it came to 4, they stepped it up. When it came to 5, they stepped it up, and 6 stepped it up insane. So now, not only do they look awesome, they almost look close to realistic when you look at the detail close up on them. And I guess when you play it, you'll have to see what I'm saying. I think the only disappointment for me is they didn't have any of the original costumes. They had all their new costumes, and I'm talking about the original characters. So I had to go buy that myself. I think there's a way to unlock it. I don't know if it's World Tour mode. Me personally, I don't like that mode. So I don't know. When things go on sale, I might be going that route, unless there's another way. I think you can earn fight money, but I'm not 100% sure on where you do that. But anyway, graphics for the background and the characters and even the animations and everything for their fireballs and their super attacks are amazing. Okay, so for graphics, we're going to give it a 5. And now we will going to get into sound.
Chun-Li wins!
Okay, so for sound there, you could see the differences, hear the differences of the punching and kicking noises when Chun-Li was doing her Ultra. Pretty awesome. The soundtrack, the engine noise, everything in the game for sound-wise is pretty awesome. I like it. It reminds me of, I want to say Street Fighter 3 had a very similar soundtrack, kind of hip-hoppy. Really good. So it has a little bit of a 4 kind of sound to it too, but I'd say closer to 3, maybe in between. But great sound. So yeah, for sound, we're going to give it a 5. Now, gameplay. We'll just bring up some gameplay here. Awesome. I mean, what do I say? The gameplay is awesome. Every move I wanted to pull off, it did. The combos that you can pull off with each character, the different types of combos, awesome. I went into the combo trials, and every one they gave me, I could pass. Now, sometimes it would take a little bit of time when you got the timing down, but I could pass them. Just the all-around gameplay for the arcade mode, amazing. I loved it. Now, as you can see here, there's different styles of controls. When you first start the game, it's set on modern. Now, for me, that's weird. It goes from a light, medium, and a fierce attack, and then you have a special attacks button and all that, and you hold different directions for different things, and there's a dynamic mode that's very similar. And this reminded me of an old game that the Wii had that Capcom had brought out then, which I have somewhere in here. Yeah, so I set it to classic. Once it was classic, light, medium, fierce, kick, and punch buttons, I was fine. And like I said, gameplay, mwah, we'll just say mwah for that, you know. So gameplay is a 5, okay? Then when we get into fun factor of the arcade is going to be a 5 too. I had fun the whole time. I didn't have any weird glitching. No weird control delays, nothing like that. All of it was great. The ending, after you beat the game, and I'll show you here, you get rewards. So it'll unlock a whole bunch of artwork. And I got a buttload the first time I went through. And then the second time I got a bunch. So as you're playing, you get these different rewards for pulling off moves and everything, is what I'm assuming. I haven't gone in there to really look in depth, but that's what it looks like. You do so many super moves, a knockout, perfect. You get different things unlocked, and then there's like different eras of artwork that you can see throughout the Capcom series. So that's really good too. So, like I said, fun factor 5. And so what that'll do for all around on total of the arcade mode, I'll give it a 24. Just because the presentation lacked slightly. If we could cut off the rest, it's like making those chocolate chip cookies and cutting out the poop. And you just got the chocolate chip cookie, which everyone loves. Arcade. The arcade mode. It's a fighting game. Okay. So it gets a 25. If I just cut everything else away from it, I'll give it a 25. So if you're looking at the game from that standpoint, you don't care about the rest of it, maybe you will. And this is what matters. Arcade mode gets a 25. And this way, for me giving it a review like this, I could be more fair. If I reviewed the all-around game, I don't know how I'd rate it, because the presentation for all-around is a failure. The gameplay for all around is a failure to me, because it's not really a fighting game when it comes to the World Tour mode. It almost feels like an action adventure game, and that's not what I'm coming to Street Fighter 4. If you're going to do that, make a separate game, unless you're doing it where your avatar runs around and then you run into Ryu and then it becomes a fighting game, Okay, that's cool. You're learning moves from them that way. Cool, but it's just weird. I don't know. I didn't really like it. So we'll keep that aside. And like I said, this one gets a 24, almost a 25. I think that it even, it's really close. It was almost a 25 with that beginning sequence of Street Fighter 6 is what did it. So anyway, guys, that's all I got. I'm Noob Zero, and I'll see you next time.